Welcome to my capstone video. This is my capstone by me, Sebastian Menis. My inquiry question or essential question was, what are the essential steps to composing, creating, and sharing a piece of music online? Basically, my project would look like me making some music, recording it, and then like the question says, sharing it online on SoundCloud or something. Step 1. What kind of music am I going to be composing? Well, I just learned how to start playing the basics of flamenco, so I figured why not take that skill further and learn how to play some more complicated stuff. So here I am now with a completed project on playing a song, flamenco style guitar. So the next step is trying to figure out how I'm going to do this. How am I going to compose my music? Well, first thing I need is some inspirations, and then I'd have to figure out what genre I'm going to do, and then I'm going to have to figure out how I'm going to do it, what instruments, and then what is my final product going to look like? Will it be an album, a song, 10 minutes, 1 minute? Let's find out. So, my inspirations are Amric. He's a Spanish guitar player, very good. Gypsy Kings, it's a group of Middle Eastern guitar players. They do some of my favorite songs. And the Buena Vista Social Club. They are a Cuban music group, and they are also one of my favorite groups. The genre, well, as you know already, it'll be a Latino or Latin slash like flamenco style song. And then the instruments I'm going to use is just my classical guitar to give it more of like that authentic type of sound. And then my final product will look like just a 5-minute piece of music displaying almost or most of like the impressive skills that I've learned over this year and just like portraying them the best I can. Step 3. Actually composing the piece. This is where the fun begins. To compose my music, I need to learn about Spanish and Latin music theory. Fortunately, I was able to use Western music theory to make a Spanish style song because learning a whole new type of music theory is very difficult and takes a little longer than just a year. So, by using the Spanish scale along with the Spanish chord progressions and Spanish guitar strumming techniques that are like in Western music theory, I can make like my own version of like Walmart Spanish guitar without it sounding like Walmart Spanish guitar. So I mentioned the Spanish scale. Essentially what that is in this diagram above here, which is a diagram of a fretboard. Every single one of those red dots signifies a note that goes in that scale. So I made this myself to just for like extreme accuracy. Essentially, every single one of those notes is used at least once in the song that I've made, and I kind of memorized that whole scale and went over it many times, day and night, with like blood, sweat, and tears. And now I know it like the back of my hand, so all I know how to play now is Spanish music, and I've kind of forgotten the rest of my music. But that's alright, because it's a new skill, and that's what matters. And along with the Spanish scale comes the Spanish chord progression, like I mentioned before. Once again, similar diagram, but still different. This one, there's only a few red dots, and if you can see that red square on the right side of the screen, that is the general shape. It is a bar chord, that's what it's called. It's the shape of the chords you'll be doing. They're all the same shape, which is very helpful, because you can switch up and down between them very fast. All you do is slide up and down the neck of the guitar on different spots to get just the right sound. Those red dots are where your index finger will land, and then if you see the hand, it is color coded on every finger so that you can know exactly where your finger is supposed to go. And just like the Spanish scale, this chord progression has also been burned into my head because I practiced it day and night. So that's okay because it's a new skill and I like new skills. Even though it may have caused me to forget some of the original chords I already knew, It's okay because this is a new skill and new skills are what we want. Step 4, recording your music. So, I had to figure out what program works best. For me, it was GarageBand. I am the most familiar with that. I've been using it since I was about 8 years old, just screwing around on there. So, I'm pretty familiar with that. And then the next thing I want to do is play with the audio settings. The guitar will not sound the same over their crappy computer microphone than it will over real life and real ears. So I took about a day to just play around with the bass, the mids, the highs, the lows, all the frequencies to try and get it really good. I'm still not quite sure how it works. It is still very complicated. I have ways to go to learn about that stuff. But I got the basics down, and that's what's important, and I got the sound I needed to get, and that's all that matters here. A very helpful tip I learned was that your instrument breathes just like you do in between bars. So you cannot just have continuous music. It has to have rests or just like 1 or 2 seconds of silence in between bars of music. Because if I start talking like this and never stopping, I sound kind of like a robot and it just doesn't sound natural. There's no flow. It sounds kind of bad. But if I take my time and I pause and then I continue speaking but pause again, then it has more flow. It sounds better. It sounds more natural. It sounds more professional. And it's the sound we're looking for. So here you can see this is what my final product looks like in the final form. It is not just one track. I didn't do it all in one go. I'm not a professional. This is my first time recording music. It took me many tries. And with the technique of allowing my music to breathe, I was able to just find spots to cut it and then keep playing. So I could take breaks and then continue the music without having to do it all in one go. It was a lot easier, it saved me a lot of time, and it would sound a lot better. Also, in the bottom of the screen near the middle, you can see all the knobs for the bass, the frequency, the reverb, and all that. As you can see, I was fiddling with them quite a bit, but I found my sweet spot for all the knobs, and I did not move them. So make sure you find your sweet spot, and you will make your music sound 10 times better than it already does. Step 5, the longest step you will ever have. Erase everything, start again because it doesn't sound good anymore, and I don't know what you were thinking last night, but that's crazy. This sounds terrible. It is a very important step because it's unpredictable. This can happen at the beginning, at the end, in the middle, anywhere. Some people repeat this step only once, but if you're like me, you'll do it like 10 times, 20 times, and that's why this project will take you a year. The most important part is you don't settle for something that sounds okay. This is meant to be the capstone of your career in high school, so don't stop until it sounds great. Congratulations, you did it. Share your masterpiece with the world. You finished your song. You got past step 5, the hardest step. Your mom's proud, your dad's proud, everyone's proud, even your other dad. Alright, once you've repeated step 5 enough times and are satisfied with your piece of musical genius, it is now time to let others know how amazingly talented you are by uploading your music and streaming it to a service on social media. For example, I'm going to use SoundCloud because it's free and I don't want to spend money. Step 7, promote your music. If you want people to listen to your music, then they have to know it exists in the first place. So, you have to promote your music. Few easy ways to do this: add a link to your music on your social media's biography, make a post about it on social media, or, just a good old fashioned way, go around the street telling people about your music. But just beware, people will not care. Only some people will, but most people will not care. Do not be butthurt. It's just the way life works. Congratulations, you made it to the final step. The final step is repeating step 1 to 7. No one said you had to just stop at one song. I've already finished my final piece of music for my capstone, but now I'm thinking I can do way more. The sky is literally the limit. My next step for this project would probably be to learn some more theory so that I can make another song, or even better, a whole album. How great would that be? Alright, to conclude, I've been playing guitar since grade 8, but this year I've definitely learned the most so far. It took me quite a while to come up with the different parts of my piece of music, and even more time to record it and finalize it. If I could, I probably wouldn't have released my piece of music just yet. There is so much stuff I probably could have done better. Every time I listen to it, I find something I could have done better, or I get a better idea of what to put in a certain part. I still have many questions about strumming patterns, music theory, GarageBand shortcuts, and anything you can name. Fortunately, I have literally the rest of my life to look up this stuff, learn this stuff, practice stuff, refine these skills, and honestly just have an absolute blast learning new things. Bonus slide. All the music in this video was played by me using the skills I learned this year. I had lots of fun doing the project and I plan on continuing doing this in my future. Yes, my video is a little general and not extremely specific to my project, but my project was mainly supposed to be on the process, not the project itself. So, thank you for watching and have a great rest of your year and good luck on your capstone if your teacher is using this as an example for a really good capstone.